What's going on, everyone? I hope you guys are enjoying your Easter weekend. Today, I wanted to talk to you guys about Immaculate. Now, this story follows Cecilia, who is warmly welcomed to the picture perfect Italian countryside, where she is offered a new role in an illustrious convent. Now, it becomes clear to Cecilia that her new home may harbor some dark and horrifying secrets. Hollywood's it girl Sydney Sweeney has collaborated with co-writer and director Michael Mohan once again to deliver a passion project that took nearly a decade to see the light of day. Now, ever since Cassie lost her shit and went off the rails in season 2 of Euphoria, a lot of Sydney Sweeney fans have been wondering about her acting range. She can do a little bit of drama, comedy, a little bit of action, and some romance. And we all know that horror has been scraping at the opportunity for her to take lead. Sweeney has credited her father for being a fan of the horror genre, and about 10 years ago, she auditioned for the film. Yes, this film, Immaculate. But according to IMDb, the script hadn't materialized yet, and then years later, she was able to take on the role as producer and then acquire and revise the script along with the writer. And then she was able to hire a director, got financiers, and then sold it to Neon. You can tell that she was just as dedicated behind the scenes as well as being in front of the camera. I was super excited to see this movie, but I was also afraid that we were going to miss out on seeing this on the big screen because it's Maui. We don't get everything. So tickets did not go up on sale, did not show up on the Regal app up until 2 days prior to opening night. So my auditorium was packed, considering that we were in a small theater. And after finally seeing it, this movie got under my skin in the best and worst ways possible. I mean, after seeing the movie, I just wanted to come home and wash up with holy water and ask for forgiveness because there's some fucked up boundaries that I did not expect them to push. Taking a look at the production side of things, I thought that the set design was very atmospheric. The whole vibe of the Italian countryside was very rich and bleak, especially with how they were able to match the scale of the cathedral-like look of the entire church, the grounds of the convent, and also the narrow corridors at night. And there was a sequence that we got where we were in the catacombs, and by the time we got there, I wish that the movie kind of slowed down and that we kind of got the chance to live in it just a little bit longer. The horror side of things, that was a home run for me. There were a lot of nail-biting moments that were just filled with dread and disturbing images that I was extremely uneasy and white-knuckled throughout the entire runtime. There was actually one particular moment in the backseat of a car where I just wanted to scream out loud at the screen. Just run, bitch, run! The inflictions that happen in this movie, I wouldn't say they were gory, but a lot more grisly than I was expecting. So there was definitely a lot of wincing and a lot of holy shits murmured under my breath that my girlfriend was just digging her grip into my arm out of every turn that happened. And I just gotta say, body horror, if it is not your thing, that is a big warning for you. Let's talk about Sydney Sweeney because, oh my gosh, she was fantastic in this film. She delivers a strong performance as Cecilia, and out of all the other projects that have gotten released over the last year with her being involved, this was her finest presentation that puts her on display on what she's capable of. I do wish that we got to know more about her character, apart from the fact that there was an accident in her childhood that led her to devote her life to God. I just felt like there was a lot of moments with Sweeney's facial expressions as well as with how much she says with her eyes that I felt like there was a lot more to unpack with her life. And also, I kind of laughed inside when she said it in a straight face that she has never lain with a man before. Um, that might be a nitpick, but that also could be a compliment on her acting. So apparently, every time I bring up this movie, a lot of people are confused with the marketing because The First Omen is just about to release around the corner, and I can't blame them. There's nuns, unwanted pregnancies, and agents of the church with nefarious agendas. Almost the same, right? Well, it's important to go in knowing that this isn't that kind of film. There is no supernatural entities or demonic activity that happens. And if I'm going to be honest with you, it is a breath of fresh air because we don't need another movie resembling the Conjuring universe. There is a social commentary that I found very close to Saint Maud, and which, in my opinion, was better handled here. And that is the gray areas of love and suffering in the name of faith. And I know that might be a little on the nose for a lot of religious viewers, but I thought it was a very important theme to bring up to the surface. And although that might be offensive, to me somehow feels a little bit more impacting, especially when it comes down to the voices that are usually suppressed in many organizations alike. Leading us to talk about the third act without giving anything away, personally, I think that the plot reveal and the ending might divide the audience. And that is because when it comes to the plot reveal, there is a moment where they're kind of reaching for a more fantastical element in which it still remained grounded, but thankfully it is not as far-fetched as the plot device used in The Nun. The final confrontation I thought was a little bit too brief. I wanted more of it. I wanted them to have it breathe a little bit more. And then the final 2 minutes, man, it was very reminiscent to a horror classic, but they had the balls to end it the way they did, to just close out that final frame. And you know what? The horror fan in me was satisfied and disgusted in one fell swoop. Overall, this was a wild combination of Saint Maud meets Rosemary's Baby that spits on all that is holy. Sydney Sweeney, she has the lung power, the strength, the potential to be a sufficient scream queen, which means we need her in more horror films. This was depraved, effective, and shocking. That this definitely kicks off the races, definitely kicks off one of the best of 2024's horror film list, as well as the most talked about. Alright guys, that's all I got to say about that movie. Go ahead and check it out in a big theater with a really big crowd. You won't regret it. You might. I apologize and you're welcome. I want to thank you guys again so much for taking some time out of your day to hear me talk some movies. Look forward to more reviews and I will see you guys at the theater. I'm Jaren. Take care.